Are you gay?
No.
What kind of men?
Wait, that was it?
Never mind.
All right.
Sometimes I'll prepare a second question when I think I'm getting a certain answer, but you didn't give me the answer I was expecting to the "Are you gay?" thing. Sorry about that. How old were you when you first masturbated?
The real way, 13.
In public?
Humping pillows at like 12.
Hey, Sean.
Yes, Ray.
Are you ready for today's episode of Brand New Jerks?
I sure am, Ray.
What do you think is worse, a dork, a nerd, or a geek? What's your power rankings of the worst to be called? Okay,
so there was a whole resurgence of nerds, right? So nerd is like on top because people use the term nerd. Sorry, there's like complete construction in the background. I don't know if you can hear it over the mic.
That's New York, baby. If you're doing a podcast in New York and you don't have the sounds of the street and construction on your podcast, you ain't doing it right, huh? You're probably in a cushy studio. We got our nose to the fucking ground. We're right in the story.
Is that your
Queens.
New Yorker voice?
Huh?
Is that your New Yorker voice?
I don't know, man.
It's kind of racist. Anyway, so it's very Italianish. You know. Anyway, so I think that nerds, because of the complete resurgence of, or the I don't know what you would call it, the changeover, the sea change that happened with nerd culture. I think nerd would be on top. I think dork would be number 2, and I think geek is the one who got left in the cold. Because dork is like, oh, you're being such a dork. Stop! I'm such a dork in these pants. I have shorts on with bulldogs. I'm such a dork in my pink shorts with bulldogs on them.
I'm such a dork.
Yeah. So that's it. But
okay.
Nobody's like you. Everyone's like, you fucking geek. Like nobody's like, geek has never gotten it's like cool guy. It's like vulcanized version of it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how I go. That's the order I go. So nerd's number 1.
I think I agree with that. Dork and geek are pretty low on the totem pole, though. Like, dork isn't too far off a geek.
But geek has never gotten the rebrand.
What about dweeb? Dweeb's
dweeb. Well, if you time travel to 1967, dweeb would be right on top. That would be used all the time.
That was a 1967 thing? A dweeb or twerp?
I think it was back in the day. I don't think they have those now. I will say this: if you know me and my Seinfeld's infatuation.
Yeah.
This is from the 90s, and do you think of hipster as like a pretty recent term, right? I think people think it's from like the 2000s or something.
I do, yeah.
In one of the episodes, Elaine calls Kramer a hipster doofus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's like, I know what it is, you hipster doofus. So
I didn't think it's
even
been around.
hipster became, and also that word just changed over time, and then the things that are hipster have changed so much over time as well. I don't know if there's any true hipsters anymore.
When I call somebody a hipster, I call them when they're trying so aggressively to be underground.
Yeah.
Or like trying to be into things that are counterculture, but it seems phony. Like, dude, like you're such a hipster.
It usually pops up with music.
Yeah.
So music would be like, you really did have people back in the day, I think, even 90s and 2000s, that were like, you're into Radiohead? I was into them when their first album came out, or like before their first album came out, but not now. Like that was like the old definition of a hipster. Now
I can only listen to it if it's on vinyl.
Yeah.
It doesn't
that
even
kind of
make sense when it's just played on the radio.
Yeah, just a judgmental guy about nonsense things.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to put it. A hipster is a judgmental guy about nonsense things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's a solid answer for it.
Well, I try. But so I think when it comes to nerd, then almost even that became full circle, where like people started going after how is all of a sudden everybody's a nerd. Well, that's annoying because like back in the day when I was going to high school, you had the nerdies guys and the dorky guys and the geeks and they were kind of even had a different, Dungeons and Dragons is probably the geeks. That was the geeks.
Well, there's nerd culture. There's not like geek or dork culture really.
Right.
Or that's even like mainstream. Like nerds are. I mean, if you love the superhero movies, you're a nerd. I mean, there's fantasy football nerds.
Right, but at some point we have to let go of the nomenclature. Because guess what? You know who loves the superhero movies?
Me.
Every single person on the planet, almost 99% of the population.
That's true.
And so it's become mainstream, like you said. So I think what we have to realize is that there's still like an underground, like especially being in comedy. I know some hardcore nerds. A Dungeons and Dragons nerd is still somebody who's not going to be accepted by the mainstream.
Losers. Those are almost losers.
Yeah, geek. Yeah.
Are you who do you think's more of a hipster between you and I? Because I'll tell you the answer.
I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say me because the music stuff. I know I brought it up. I knew you were gonna think about it. And be like, oh fuck you, you're kind of that guy, and I'm not. I just like good music.
And that's what hipsters say. That's what they say to defend their bullshit. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I just like good music. You just like all that corporate shit.
I've never said that to you ever in my life.
That just that corporate mainstream bullshit that is just made in a factory just to like sound good and to bop your head to. I want stuff that actually makes you think about life and who you are. Like, it's not a good song if it doesn't make me cry.
Never said that ever.
I mean, but you allude to it.
I don't even know if it's possible to be that guy anymore. I feel like nobody cares as much, and also like, or maybe as you age, there's nothing worse than like an aging hipster. Like I know a couple of aging hipsters that you're like, oof, you just gotta come to Papa.
Yeah. Like the guy hanging out at the record store.
Yeah, or like there was one guy that me and my buddy Robert Dean would know in Williamsburg, and this guy was like, he might as well have been a stool. He might as well have been a bench in Williamsburg. And this guy just always had the same vibe. Like he would, like, you see him at like the bar, like we would go to a show at like one of the hipster bars, and he's probably in his 40s there hitting on like the 20-year-old hipster girls. And he's just like decided like, this is what I want. He's like the jock in the town that never leaves.
Yeah.
And you go back for Thanksgiving, and he's hitting on the like the 19-year-old that just started college. It's like that, but the hipster version of that.
So this wasn't a hipster guy, but when I was in college, there was this dude that used to go to all the bars, even like the 18 and up bars, and he was in his 40s, I would say, and he would wear a white cowboy hat, and he would go there, not an attractive guy, and just try grinding on the girls and dancing on the girls and going there partying, right? And I saw him like all 4 years of college, and I was like, wow, this dude.
Yeah, it's a sad existence,
but it's also fucking hilarious because like he'd be the guy like starting the dancing out on the dance floor, and he'd try to be like cool with like me and my friends at certain times. He'd be like, "You guys want to do beers? You want to do shots? You know?" And we were like, "Yeah, if you're buying." You know,
just reliving those days.
But then like 6 years later, like after I graduated, I'm back in Morgantown with my buddy doing a gig, and we go to this bar that like one of my old haunts. He's fucking still there, dude.
No,
Swear to God, this guy's still there, still running the same flim flam, just trying to get on college chicks,
dude.
But here's the thing, he probably
and they go, well, you went in. And like you thought, like say his name is Willie, and you're like, I can't believe Willie's still here. And they go, Willie? He hasn't been here in 6 years. It's the ghost of the guy sexually harassing 19-year-olds.
You mean Willie? Willie the Toucher? Why, he's been dead for 10 years.
He got murdered by a co-head's father 6 years ago.
Some people say they can still hear him ordering Jaeger bombs for teenagers, but I never heard it.
Some people say they can smell a brief whiff of Jacquard Noir in the bathroom. And when they tell us, we go, that's Willie the Toucher.
Sometimes when girls are peeing in the stalls, they could still see the rim of his cowboy hat circling around the stall like Jaws. But yeah, man, he was still there.
Yeah, of course, dude. It's brutal. And I realize this. Like, I think self-awareness is very important in life. And I think it's good to realize, like, if you are or aren't that guy. Because I know I'm not. Because, and this is actually not even as bad as, like, college shit. The bar that I like to go to, Patty McGuire's on 3rd Avenue and 19th Street, New York City. Plug. Patty McGuire's. Go there. Patty McGuire's. It's my favorite place. But
what's it called?
Patty McGuire's.
Okay.
And I love it, but there's been a couple of nights where I walk in, and it's all like 21-year-olds. Like, they're of age, but even that, it's jam-packed to the gills, and I walk in, and you feel 1,000 years old, and I just go to my friend Kate, and I go, I gotta go. And she goes, I totally get it. And I walk right out. So I'm like, ooh, that's a win right there, knowing you're not an old creep.
Well, so I kind of wonder, though, with this old creep, who has been a staple at these bars for 15 years.
Is he just a regular?
You gotta think that he's had some success. Maybe it was one success, and he's been tracing the dragon ever since.
Have you met dudes? How many delusional guy friends? How many guys do you know?
I'm just saying he's taking fucking 50 swings a night for at least 10 years that I know of,
Here,
he's got to make some contact with the ball.
By sheer number. Well, you haven't seen me play PAL basketball. But by sheer numbers and by sheer statistics, yes, I would say yes. But I don't think it's the type of numbers. It's not LeBron numbers.
Yeah.
He's not putting up threes every night. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
You're right.
It's not the type of numbers where you're like, it still warrants him doing it. I guarantee.
But it's enough to keep him going.
You know what it is this. You can get away from, like, now there's like a term for him. How old of a guy? He's probably in his 40s at that point,
I'd
right?
say he's probably in his 50s now.
Okay. They have the zaddy thing. He's a zaddy. That's a thing. Zaddy. So he could be, maybe he went full circle from creep to zaddy.
Or rapist.
Oh, right. Yeah. Which 9 times out of 10, that's probably what's going to end up happening at some point. Because also, like, either he's a regular that's like, you're not going to get me out of my bar, and you're in my bar, so I'm just going to hit on you. Which, to be honest, let's real quick, because I know we want to get into Donezo List, but is he wrong for doing it?
No.
And I say no. He's in a bar.
Yeah,
a bar is for adults. It's one of these things where it's like, if you're one of these guys that hangs out at that bar and people and girls come in and they're younger, it's a creepy vibe to it. But you are at a fucking bar and people are drinking, and it's an adult location. It's an adult establishment. You can make the thing like, hey, you're here. I'm just trying to dance like I would anybody. Because I guarantee you that guy
was predatory.
There other nights when kids weren't there and trying to hit on 40s and 50s. Like, I'm sure he was across the board, just a pussy hound.
It was multiple bars. It was like all the bars on the college strip he would go.
All right, we call that alcoholic in my day.
He was just honky-tonking.
He was honky-tonking.
Now, I am almost, not yet, I'm not conceding yet, but I am almost too old for college bars. They are not on my Donezo list. But I'll tell you what is on my Donezo list, Sean.
Well, I don't know if you're actually not out of you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
Right. That's you're painfully. You said college bar or like
college bars?
You're there. Do you not think so?
I don't know. I mean, I'll still roll into one.
No. You can
I'll still go to one for a couple drinks.
That's different than going in.
That's what I'm saying.
Like and then hanging out with the youngins, as your buddy.
Oh, I'm not hanging
Willie
out. I'm not hanging out with the youngins.
Right.
That's on my
right.
Donezo list.
No, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, going and hitting on but it's like one of these things where it's like, yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy to hit on somebody who's younger. That is creepy. But you are all in a bar together. So it's not like this. I hate the idea, and I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, I think. But the idea that they're walking in there, and you're in a bar, you're not, it's the whole idea of like, oh my God, it's just like, there's this fawn. It's like everybody's drinking in this place. It's like one of these things where it's like, if you're respectful and you're going up and you're like, would you like to dance? It's like, what is wrong with that?
Well, you know what would help him out is girls would dance on him as a bit. And take pictures. And dance on him as a bit. And they didn't realize what they were doing. And then they were just getting that blood rushing to his pee-pee and getting his hopes up. And probably sometimes he was sealing the deal because they were like, I fucked that old cowboy last time.
Yeah, I'm sure it happened as like a goof, just for the story. Do it for the story.
Do it for the story.
But here's the thing: if he's not a piece of shit, there's nothing wrong with it.
You know what would do happen?
And going up and dancing with somebody on a dance floor, I don't think that I'm not a club guy or a dancing guy. But I think that's a thing that happens.
Well, you know how successful an old cowgirl whore would be.
Oh my God!
Just bouncing in and out.
Every college kid would lose his virginity. She'd be on board. You know.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's hear your Donezo list. Let's go to the Donezo list.
The Donezo list. Brought to you by Burger King today. No, you know what I think I am officially done with, and I was just thinking about it the other day. Is the early flight leaving my destination. Like if I'm going on vacation or if I'm going somewhere for a gig, I will spend a little bit extra to not have to leave at 6 a.m.
That's funny. Like I just had I have a 7 a.m. flight from Minneapolis, and I'm like,
yeah,
it sucks.
Wait, to go there?
To go there.
To go there is fine.
Oh, you mean go home?
I think to go home.
Oh, yeah, no.
I want the later flight.
Yeah, do later.
I used to not. I remember I was thinking about it because I was thinking about the last time that I was in Cleveland, and I took a flight home, and I took a fucking 5:30, 6 o'clock flight, and just remember how tired I was, how hungover I was, how shitty I felt, and how it didn't really give me a leg up on the day when I got back to New York because I just slept my face off.
Exactly.
So I like the idea of getting up, moving a little slow, and getting there. if I don't have anything to do.
I love having more time to get back. I don't mind getting back later, especially if it's like a Monday or some of these clubs. I'll do Sunday shows. You get back on a Monday, and it's like take your time, get back, have some dinner, maybe do spots when I get back. So that's your Donezo. Your Donezo is like when you're coming back from going forward. You might even get it for cheaper, to be honest. The earlier ones sometimes are more expensive
because they're more packed. But yeah, like a Sunday coming back from a weekend of gigs, or you're even coming back from some type of vacation. It's like I want to sit down, I want to have some breakfast. I don't want to be rushing to the airport. I don't want that pure anxiety. I want to be able to sleep a little bit.
Yeah. How about this? How late will you go?
Dude.
I've done it where it's like 4 o'clock flight. I've done like 4 o'clock. Depending on where I'm coming from.
I don't want to leave more than 2 hours after checkoff of the hotel.
That's a good, but a lot of times.
So 4 p.m. is the max I want to leave.
Yeah, I've always been around that. Any later, it becomes a problem.
I think ideal is like 11 a.m.
11 would be great. That's still
because you wake your ass up at like 7:30. You grab yourself something to eat. I get to the airport super early. But yeah, I'm done with the early shit.
I like taking my time.
Yeah.
I also will do a thing where I'll pay the money to check my bag at times if I'm flush with cash, so I can just be on security line, not carrying.
Oh, that's nice.
My bag, and it sucks. It's like because the carry-on's free, and there used to be one check bag for free with certain.
I'll tell you what you don't do, and this is more local, so this is for our New York listeners. What you don't do that I will do is I will pay up to $100 extra to fly in and out of LaGuardia. You will take flights out of JFK.
I do, and I probably shouldn't, but only sometimes they don't go out of LaGuardia, or I get it too late.
Fair, because
it's so much quicker.
The convenience.
It's the same amount of money. Because you're probably going to cab it back.
That's what
I air trained it back, and it took a while, and it was actually because I spent $4 on this, whatever it was, But
this is a free bus ride there and back. Because you don't got to pay for buses in New York City.
What?
You don't have to.
You don't have to?
No. They want you to.
Oh, but you just get on and...
You just get on and get off.
Is that true?
Yeah, I've never once paid for the fucking bus here. You fake, tap it on there. Nobody's paying attention.
You're counting on the apathy of civil service workers.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's above their pay grade to fucking come after me.
I think that's a good Donezo. I like that.
Yeah,
I like taking your time, be like, let me enjoy this this place. I'm not in a rush to go back to the city. I'm going to be back there, as long as you can get stuff done and get back at a reasonable hour, depending on where you're coming from.
So that's going right under Dunkin' Donuts and voting for me.
Oh, are we keeping? Oh, we have the. Oh, do we know what mine were? Because I didn't keep track of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what they are?
Yeah.
What?
Yours were dealing with the bank, so you've been keeping all of your money under a mattress. Yours was also respecting women's opinions about things, so listening to what women say.
Nope, that's not. Nope, not even close.
And grilled chicken.
Donezo with grilled chicken?
Yeah.
Don't think so.
That was the only one you actually got aggressively.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. If we had a Funzo list, I'd put it on that. Am I right, folks?
I'm Donezo with Funzo. I'll tell you that. You can add that to my list. But Sean, you were way more excited about your what you're done with.
Here's the thing, man. It's kind of twofold. So I'm going to tell you what it is. The general one.
Are you giving me one fold at a time?
No. I'm giving you the overall general one is I'm done with us. With blanketed Karen moments, with us not taking the other side of the situation on some of these videos. I'll tell you why. You know what Karens are online, and they show somebody freaking out, and a lot of time it's egregious, where they're just hurling racial epithets at these people, or they're knocking shit over, or they're literally fighting in the middle of the place. Yes, but there's been a couple of videos I've seen where people are just. I've seen people be like, "What do you? Will you stop? Will you please stop? Just stop!" And it's like you don't know what happened before the video. You don't know what happened before they started videoing. Now, a lot of the times they'll give a description like, "I'm just trying to check out, and this lady's going bonkers, and she called me the N-word, or she did that, whatever it is."
Yeah.
Which is so bad, which is so wrong. But there's so many of these videos. People love trends, but I've seen videos where you're like, "Oh, it just looks like they're bugging the person." Or that person said a one-off stupid thing to them.
So you think they're provoking Karen?
Not even provoking. I think somebody just said a smart aleck remark to them, and they're like, "Fuck you, camera's on," and then that's when the Karen fight starts, because it would have just been them saying something and walking by, but then they pop the camera on and go, "What was that? What was that?" See, and it wasn't anything as bad as like.
So I don't even think that's as much of a Karen-centric thing, though. I just think this fucking gotcha camera stuff is brutal. Everybody's like you have one blow up in public these days, and you end up losing your job. They fire you because you fucking. If somebody filmed me every time I had a meltdown at a self checkout,
right,
I wouldn't work anywhere.
Okay, so this comes to a personal thing that just happened to me. Okay. So, and I'm very polite, and I'm a polite person. For the most part. Yeah. For the most part. There's right now, as you know, George's in Astoria, around the corner from my house, a haunt of yours, George's Deli.
Yes.
A family runs it. Cannot be a sweeter family.
George is one of my best friends.
They're being, well, you think the guy, you just call him George because he's just there. It's being renovated. It's closed for 3 weeks, and you might as well have taken my firstborn child away from me at childbirth.
That's tough for you.
Because I go there about 6 times a day when I'm in the Queens and not at Megan's. And I started going to the other place. It's called like Beer something down the block from there.
Heard about this place.
Okay. What have you heard?
Not good things.
Not good things. First off, more expensive. And first off, if you pay in cash, it's different. They're putting the charge for the machine they put on you.
You just did two first offs.
What?
You just did 2 first offs. You did a double first off. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You were on a roll, but you did a double first off. That's
did
a
I
first.
do a double first off?
That's a first.
First off, B. And in conclusion, no. So what ends up happening is if you ask, say you want, say you want an Advil and it's $1. It's $1. First off, it's $1 at George's for that pack, which is what it should be, or 75 cents or something, right? And then you go to that beer bullshit place on the corner of 26th Street and 28th Avenue. I mean 36th Street and 28th Avenue in Astoria. These fucking assholes will be like, they'll tell you a price, and then you go to use your card, and it's a little bit more, but like substantially more. Where you're like, they're like, oh, the machine charges you at checkout. I'm like, well, no other place does that. They either add it into the cost or they eat the machine charge, and they have loyal customers. Secondly, every time I go, those guys are grumpy. Every time I fucking go in there. Yeah. Every time I go in that place, those guys are grumpy, right? So yesterday, I walked in. This dude, I waited online. This other guy was getting like beer, and I guess he needed something else. But I would have waited online, right?
Yeah.
So I had 3 liquid deaths, the seltzers, and then I had a snack, and then I was gonna get Advil, whatever it was, and a giant Poland Spring water. And I'm there, and I literally just would have waited for him to go help that guy come back and check me out. He checks me out, like with the price and everything. I give him the cash. He gives me change. He pulls a bag out. I'm standing there. He waits with the bag in his hand, doesn't say anything, and just like doesn't know what to do. Puts the bag on the stuff and then goes to the refrigerator to get whatever that second part of that guy's order was. Not like there was no moment where he's like, actually, I gotta grab this thing. Do you mind just bag it? Nothing like that.
Oh, he gave you like a bag of shit yourself.
He just chucked. He didn't say a word to me. He just placed the bag like a parachute man on top of the stuff that I had. And I was livid because here's the thing: the social contract dictates either you bag the shit or don't bag it, but at least be like, hey, I have to go grab this for him. Do you mind bagging it? I'd be like, oh yeah, no problem.
But do you know what most people put on their Donezo list?
What
is the social contract?
Well, oh, the opposite.
People aren't fucking following rules anymore. It's been like that for a while now.
Well, I'd rather live in a polite society and have people. Here's the thing, man. If I worked that job, it's like the doorman job. It's like the least you can do is be nice. It's like comics. The least we can do is wear pants. At least you can do is like if you bag the shit because that's what everybody does. And if you can't, just tell me and be like, do you mind because of this? You don't just drop it, look at me, and walk away to go help the guy from before the thing you should have done before. I would have waited an extra 30 seconds. It's not the idea that I bag my stuff, open my door, do this thing for me. It's the polite idea of going, oh, dude. Sorry, I got to get him this thing. Could you mind just bagging this to make it faster? I would have been like, oh, yeah.
So did you snap?
No. But on the way out, I looked at the guy like I wanted to fucking punch him out.
Yeah.
And then I got outside and I'm like, all right, it's ridiculous. Let it go, whatever it is. But I'm like, for a split second, I stared at him. I stopped and I stared at him and kind of did like a what the fuck look. And then he just stared blankly like a fucking moron. and I just walked out.
So
I
you're
was like,
done
I'm not
with
gonna,
that place.
I'm done with that place.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a SAG strike that's happening right now. Fuck the SAG strike. I'm going in front of that deli. I'm gonna tell people not to walk in.
And just be like, hey, you might as well just wait for George's.
I wish I could write in graffiti on the side of that building, wait for George's to come back.
Yeah.
Because fuck them, dude. Fuck them for the prices. Being down the block. Why I'm adding another 50 cents because I'm a block away. And then on top of that, fuck them for not even having the semblance of any kind of friendliness. Here's the thing. I'm talking bare minimum here, Ray. I'm not talking, hello, sir. How can I help you today? I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, you don't want your dick sucked.
I don't want my dick sucked. I don't want blowjobs in the back.
But hey.
What's special? Taking it back and sucking your dick?
But you want to be treated like a human being.
Let's face it. If I'm treating you like a human being, you know how much I said, may I do this? Please, can I have this? Thanks so much. I appreciate it. The least you can do is go, I'm sorry. Do you mind bagging it? I got to help. I got to grab this thing for him.
Well, guess what, my brother?
What?
I'm in. Fuck that place.
You're at the boycott?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd fuck that place.
What's it called again? It's called like beer. Also, it's like a fucking.
It's like the beer store.
It's like a beer store.
And it's a fucking bodega.
It sucks.
Losers.
Yeah. Losers.
No, I'm in with that too. I'm so over the like the bodega next to me. You rarely ever go in there. It's the one that's coolers are always broken, and the dude's probably running tons of illegal shit out of there.
But it's always freezing cold in there when the ACs work.
And he's has my back, even though he's kind of a scumbag.
He'd be a good guy though.
I like him.
I like him.
Well, you know what he said to me. He said there was this other guy that used to work there. It was this a bigger dude, fat guy, and he used to charge me differently for the same items every time. I might have mentioned him on the show before, but I would go in there and I would go like through the three things, and he'd go $3, and then the next day it would be the $5.50. And it's the same thing every time. And I never corrected him because it was usually on the lower end. And I feel like if I corrected him, he'd start like doing the research.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, the what?
The research.
It's
and
research.
And he died. So I go there, and the guy that runs it, he's like a younger dude. Like, he looks really young. He says, hey, you know what happened to the other guy that works here? I was like, no, what happened? He's like, he died. I was like, oh, man, I'm really sorry to hear that. He's like, you're sorry. I gotta find somebody I trust to work here now. I was like, all right, man. Yeah, I'll have some Slim Jims.
You ask his family when the memorial is, they go, a couple days. And it's 3 weeks from now. Then this is that whole family's like that. But oh my God, how old was he? 40 to 50.
Yeah, he's young.
He's young.
Yeah, he's just a kid.
Everybody's just guesstimating everything.
You paying cash or card? But he was just so like, he just like was so worried about getting somebody to fill the shifts instead of actually his worker dying.
It also makes me wonder.
That's what he called him. Oh, he didn't say the guy. He says, you know my worker that you seen, the fat guy?
Yeah.
He died.
Which makes me wonder if he like didn't like the guy, or if like they just never really interacted because they just switched shifts. So
true.
Right. And he was like, yeah, guy's an all right guy, or this guy's a piece of shit and he doesn't care about people dying. But that's a way harder accusation than just he just not a sentimental guy, and he didn't know the guy that well because he just worked for him when he wasn't there.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
And he's all
because they're both working. Each of them's working 12 hours at a clip. You know.
Do you know what I love about him too?
What?
The guy that runs the place, he will just randomly be like checking you out, and then you'll hear his phone ringing on like on speaker. Not ringing, it's the dial tone of him calling somebody. He had been calling somebody, and he'll be like, "Hey man, where the fuck are you at?" "Yeah, you fucking bitch." And then he'll be like, "Hold on," and then just ring me up and be like, "How you doing, brother? How you been? Everything good? Okay, that's good to hear." "Yeah, motherfucker, I thought you had my shit, but you ain't coming over here, are you?"
See,
"All right, bro." And I'm like, God damn. And then one time I was in there, and he's like ringing me up. He's like, oh shit. He looks up at his camera and just bolts out of the store, and then comes back breathing. He's like, sorry about that, man. This guy's been throwing stuff away in my dumpster, so I've been trying to catch him, but he got away from me this time. But I'm gonna get him. I know what kind of scooter he drives. Like, holy shit.
You know, this guy's so much better than
I see him every day.
Every day, yeah.
I see him every day. I'm in there every other day. He used to actually, when me and my roommate were going to the park to work out every day during the pandemic, he would buy us in bulk the energy drinks that we wanted and sell it to us wholesale.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
He was like, I'll buy you an extra one if you guys keep getting those.
It makes me think that it was the guy who died. It's like, fuck that guy. He's probably a prick. Then if this guy didn't like him for some weird reason. I think we should go to
some rapid fire questions here.
Oh, you got the questions. That's right.
I got some questions.
You're better
for
at the
you.
questions. People love the last one.
People love the last questions, and some people, I did get a comment that people seem like they said it seems like you're trying to trap Sean to make him say certain things. And
I agree. It seems very conspicuous.
It's not. These are all just random questions, and I get them off the internet. I get them sent in to me. I get them from the Bible, and I just get all these just a culmination of different questions that I see during my travels in the week, and I just ask them to a friend with no ulterior motive.
So you're just a good Samaritan.
Yes.
Also, your lovely lady got very mad at the last video.
Did she?
Because you said I don't like Italians, and I said that's true, but then you cut it off before I could say I was kidding.
You never say you were kidding. You doubled down. And no, actually, what you do say that I didn't have enough time for on the video because it limits you on these social media platforms is then you also said close second is the Polish. And then I told you I'd rip the nipples off your butt cheek.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sean Donnelly is in the hot seat. Again, anything that comes out of your mouth is the truth. We've been learning a lot about you lately. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
It's supposed to be like a Rorschach test. It's supposed to be like a subconscious thing.
Yeah. So
okay.
it's time for the quick jerk.
Okay.
Kit Kat or Snickers?
Snickers.
Who's the best character in Succession?
Rory. Whatever his name. McCormick. Whatever.
Cormac McCarthy. Okay, perfect. Do you have a condom in your wallet?
No.
Bridesmaids or The Hangover?
Hangover.
Misogynist. Joe Biden?
What about him? Would I fuck? What are you saying? Would I fuck him?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is
First thing that comes to your mind, Joe Biden?
Joe Biden. Old
Old
guy.
Old guy. So you agree with Trump mostly
Mostly, yeah.
about the things that.
But I also agree with people who say Trump's too. Okay, go ahead.
Are you gay?
No.
What kind of men?
Wait, that was it?
Never mind.
All right.
Sometimes I'll prepare a second question when I think I'm getting a certain answer, but you didn't give me the answer I was expecting to the "Are you gay?" thing. Sorry about that. How old were you when you first masturbated?
The real way, 13.
In public?
Humping pillows at like 12. That was like, I really was like 16. Like, not in public, but I did it at a doctor's office once. I really did. Nobody was around.
Because why? Because she was gonna do the balls test and you wanted to fluff up. Is it okay to make out with your cousin?
Which one? Which cousin?
First cousin.
No.
Second cousin.
No.
Third cousin.
Maybe third. Like legally, it's okay with second.
Okay. All right.
But I wouldn't.
Do you think it's okay to make out with your cousin?
No, I just think your first cousin. No. But
Second
you're saying
cousin.
legally, or are you saying?
I'm saying, is it cool if you do it? Is it cool?
No, it's not.
It's not cool.
No, I've never made
Okay.
out with my cousin.
Okay.
Make that clear.
You've never
Edit it. Don't edit this.
first cousin,
No.
second cousin,
No.
but third cousin. It's
No.
cool. Okay. Finish these sentences. Mo money, Mo.
Problems.
Ray's gonna die from
Diabetes.
the the hottest guy on Friends is.
Matt LeBlanc.
Are you gay?
No.
Okay.
I'm a 21st century male that can admit when men are attractive.
Could you do more push-ups than Matt LeBlanc?
No. Or no.
And then who's the hottest guy in Cheers?
Sam Malone.
Are you gay?
No. I'm not gay.
All right.
Wait, let
That's
me
the
ask
quick
you that.
jerk,
I'll
folks.
ask you that. How about that? Who's the hottest guy in Cheers? You
Norm.
don't know. You have no idea if a male is attractive?
Norm.
No. Why? Because you like underdogs?
He's the guy I'd want to hang out with the most. George Wendt. I think he's handsome. Everybody always assumes fat's ugly. Well, you gotta be.
What did I get wrong and right?
You got a lot wrong. Ray is gonna die from a sword. Mo money, mo taxes.
More money, more I like that. Okay.
And the hottest guy on Friends is Chandler.
Why? Because he's the funniest, and you like to date funny guys.
Yes.
Okay.
And the answer to Joe Biden was he's the president of the United States.
That's a good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought in my subconscious assumed you would know that already.
And then the condom that I saw in your wallet, that wasn't actually a condom.
I don't have a condom in my wallet.
Okay.
Me and my girlfriend don't use condoms. We're past that point.
And there we are. Okay. That's the quick jerk, folks. You got a B. That's passing, baby. This is the best score you've gotten yet.
That is pretty good.
Good
For this
job,
made-up
Sean.
rapid-fire test.
But it's not a made-up rapid-fire test.
Well, I think you pretended it has more substance than it does.
It had a lot of
you try to
substance.
trip me up. I think it's more of a
try to trip you up at all.
mind game type situation where you're just trying to either make me admit
Here's the-
sexuality things.
here's the thing.
Or racist things.
The question
Or
that I didn't get
misogynistic things.
to is I said, "Are you gay?" And knowing you for as long as I know you, I thought I was going to get a different answer.
You thought you were
I thought I
going
was
to
going to
yes?
get some honesty. But then the next question is what kind of men are you into?
Right, I know. I realized that's where
Like
that was going.
Are you into like a skinny man, a tall man, a fat man?
Only
muscular
sitcom
man.
characters.
Just-
That's why I answered those other questions so quick. Only sitcom characters. Like, not the real people, just the sitcom character.
But that's the quick jerk, and that's what we do. We learn a lot about each other. We learn a lot about ourselves, and it's usually the truth. So I think everybody's gonna be able to make their judgments.
I wouldn't call it the truth. I would call it rapid fire answers to a comedic bit on a podcast.
I don't think there's anything funny about it, Sean.
Well, now you know what it's time for.
Now it's time for one of our favorite segments. The internet has been clamoring for it. We both have a special dude you'd like this for each other. And do you want to go first or second with your dude you'd like this?
Who went last time first?
Well, I think we only had one. You just had one. I didn't have one last time.
Okay, so why don't you go first this time?
Okay. This is one of my favorite things that I've ever seen on the internet. I may have showed you it before, and if I have, my apologies. But
Oh,
two men fighting.
oh.
One's a little bigger than the other.
Ass right, big man.
You gotta listen.
Hey, big man, your ass out. Hold on.
Hey, y'all start over.
Start over, bro. Start over.
You guys think y'all start over, man?
This is me and
Hey,
you when the
both of y'all
podcast
start
goes
the
south.
fuck up. Man, I'm telling you, Gibson, stop.
Just wait.
Gibson, I just said start over. I just said start over.
Oh, I know. I've seen this. Oh, no. You showed me this. Oh, no. Oh, my.
Yeah, leave him alone. He's shitty, bro. He stinks.
Oh, leave him alone. He shitted. He stinks.
Damn, he's shitty, boy.
They're commenting like they're at a zoo.
How the fuck you shit in the middle of a fight?
How do you shit?
Hey, man, get up before you stink, bitch.
Oh, God.
He said, "Get up before you stink."
It's also like. That almost makes me want to get like. Also, if you're that guy, you just jump off a bridge, right? Like, if you're that guy,
Well, he's not doing bad in the fight. The fight's kind of even.
here's the thing: if you are losing in a fight and you start shitting, you win the fight.
No, you don't.
Also,
You lose the internet.
nobody in the history of fighting or of like nicknames for things or like what would they call it, like hyperbole, ever thought there'd be a fight where I really beat the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him, but nobody's like, I want that to happen, or ever thought in a million years that would
Yeah.
happen.
That guy was a shitty fighter. He fucking. So I mean,
He won the fight, but he came in number 2.
that was good. That was good.
I got a couple of doozies.
Ooh, I'm sweating and crying from watching it because here, if you're just listening and you're not watching it on the video version of the pod, you already know what it was by the sounds and us talking, that it is two people in a street fight getting filmed.
One of the sloppiest street fights.
And the one dude,
yeah.
and it just
Pun
keeps getting
intended.
funnier because the one dude's butt's hanging out, and you're like, oh shit, his butt's hanging out. That's hilarious. It would have been hilarious at just that. Just watch this guy rolling around with his ass out.
That's
And
kind of
then-
where you think it's going, and then that's it. Like,
and then he shits himself.
you think there's gonna be an appearance by the penis at some point, and then you're like, oh no, this went way beyond my wildest.
Well, his wiener was
expectations.
definitely out,
I'm sure, but he was on the other side.
Yeah.
He was flipped around,
fortunately.
and it's like it's like the guy doesn't punch him as much as he falls into him. Like it's like a
Yeah.
like a sketch, like a comedy sketch. I've seen that video before. I think you might have showed me. That's like one of your points of pride on the internet.
Showed everybody that.
If you're in all honesty, if you're that guy, now granted, if you get doxxed and people are like, this is that guy, which happens all the time. And I'm sure it has. There's probably a video where that has happened.
Yeah.
But what do? I'm off the grid.
You don't really
gone.
see his face, fortunately for him.
But the minute that people realize the spot and they go, "This is him. It's him." I matched up the little. I matched up his ear with an ear on Facebook.
That's
it's like
true.
people just become not like, unnecessary detectives and they figure this shit out.
They're like,
and
he has the same body type as Doug, and I do know Doug has IBS.
Yeah.
So it's definitely him.
Doug loves fiber. But this guy, all he did was just messed up. I know he just got drunk, had a bar fight, and shit himself. It's like there's a lot of vulnerability there. You can't feel bad for this guy.
Messed up.
This guy's trying a one-man show about this moment
You
in his
think
life.
he just messed up?
I think that, yeah, man, that's like, come on. I feel bad for the guy. I've been there when I've had to like shit and.
You've been there. You've gotten into
No,
a
I'm
fight
gonna
and shit
fight and
yourself
shit.
in public.
But I've had to like shit so bad at a bar that if somebody got into a fight with me on the way out, on the way to go shit, I would have like.
If he
shit my
knew
pants.
he had to shit that bad, I would have backed down from every fight. Somebody would be like, "Do you look at my girl's ass?" Nah, dude, I got to shit.
What is it? A bigger that you're a coward or it's a flex that you go, let's do this? You're like, 1 second, gotta shit. Like, where's he going? Comes back 20 minutes later. All right, let's do it.
After I saw that before every fight from now on, I'm going to be like, hey,
All right.
I'm just going to go sit over the toilet for a little bit, make sure that I don't shit myself.
Or you tell the guy, okay, I will go to fisticuffs, but I may warn you, I might shit.
No stomach punches. All right?
I may defecate during this squabble.
Let's get this out of the way right now. Belly punches are off limits.
Jesus.
Pants were so loose.
Let's go to I'm trying to figure out which one.
Somebody
to show
sent
you.
that to me because of the bit that I do about why I don't fight in public because I don't want to get embarrassed having like my belly and butt crack hanging out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I first saw
Here, I
the
got
video.
one for you. You ready?
Yeah, let's see it. I can't believe this.
No, you can't. I can't do it.
I can't believe
I
this.
did a fake one.
I can't believe this. Oh, man. Oh, buddy. Oh, I can't breathe.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Do that. Can't do that.
Hold on. Let me see.
Do you know what would make me laugh really hard? If you even just showed me the same video of the guy shitting himself. That would make me laugh again.
Well, I saved one of these.
I'm just covered in sweat here.
Hold on a second. Why is it not showing this thing when you save something here? Sorry. I did save it.
While you're looking up that, do you remember when you admitted to humping pillows when you were 12?
When I was doing the quick
You said you hump
pillows. Yeah,
When
we
you
did
were
when I was
12.
like 12. I didn't know what masturbation was. I'm not proud of it, but it was an honest answer.
Oh, that's so funny.
Hold on, dude. Wait.
I remember there were kids that used to have stuffed animals and they would put holes in them.
They put holes in the animals?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've never done that.
And they would
All right, here we go.
put their
I got
penis
mine.
in
You
the
ready?
hole.
It was on the videos thing. You ready?
Oh, it's right next. Don't do that to me. Okay, good.
No.
Teach your boys to become men before their teachers teach them to become women.
Someone who orders a side of sprinkles and dips their soft serve in it. As a homosexual myself, I have the right to say this is the gayest way I've ever seen ice cream be eaten. This guy is for sure on the DL.
I saw, before I knew that guy chimed in on the video, I saw the video. That's what I thought. I went, that is a side of sprinkles? That sounds like, a side of sprinkles
God.
sounds like a euphemism for a gay midget. I might get in trouble for saying that. Even a gay little person.
That actually sounds like the name of a gay bar. You going to Side of Sprinkles tonight?
It does. You know, like it's the main bar. And
Yeah.
They have a side of sprinkles. It's like the back door.
Oh, it's called Sprinkles. And then
Sprinkles.
Side of Sprinkles.
And then they have a pop up called the side of sprinkles.
Or the Creamery.
Or the. Did you think that was funny?
Yeah, I think it's hilarious.
I have another one you can watch.
Let me see another one.
This one's just kind of
You're
crazy.
doing double, dude. You'd like this.
What you want to? Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
let's
double
do double,
because
dude, you
they're
like
fun
this.
to do. That one's pretty funny, but I thought it was just cool. I laughed pretty hard at that guy doing it.
Dude.
Wait,
And it's always nice for a gay dude to do it.
oh, hold on.
You know, for him to weigh in. Like if it was like me, like, oh, that's gay, bro. It doesn't carry as much gravitas. Gravitas.
Gravitas. Here we go. You ready?
When love, they yell at each other all the time.
Oh, that's true. Ask him, he's been married for how long?
Over 27 years.
Over 27
Look at him, though.
years.
He look mad.
Do you know what happens?
You don't look happy, brother. You don't look happy.
He's very happy.
He murdered his wife, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
County deputy charged with his wife's murder, now ordered not to attend her funeral. Renard Spivey appeared before a judge today. He's facing very specific rules for
That's insane.
There's nothing funnier than the bailiffs in those fake court shows.
Yeah, because they don't say, they just stare straight at. They always look angry.
And they always laugh. They always they quietly laugh like.
But if you
Jerry, you crazy?
If you notice that guy, he says it to him, and he's joking, but he's a little bit astute because he's probably right.
He's
And
definitely right.
And the way the bailiff reacts, at first you see he does get like fuck, and then you see like the wheels turn. Because Bird on Judge Judy just laughs immediately because he's like, I make millions of dollars. I don't care. This guy, this is like the B team of bailiffs and courtroom judges on that whatever the show that was. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah.
So I think he doesn't have the Bird money. He's not happy. He's like trying to get a gig out of this. And so but he realizes when the guy says it, he's like, oh yeah, maybe he's like, hey, you're kind of right. And I don't think that gave him the idea to murder his wife.
I think it did. He planted the seed.
That guy should be an accessory to murder.
He was. I think he left there and he's driving home. He's like, that guy was hilarious. 27 years. I'm mad about my wife.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I'm not happy.
He tells the wife.
Maybe I'm not happy.
He's like, you let him say that. And he's like, all right. I wonder. I don't know the date, but
It's my job, Marie. It's my fucking job.
I'm wondering how long those were in between each other because he looks pretty old in court, much older in court.
He
So it might have been like
court.
What?
He's gonna look disheveled in court.
No, I mean like he looks like he's limping and he's like just looks older in general.
He might have been limping from the murder. I don't know. maybe it wasn't as easy.
Like OJ? Wasn't OJ limping at one
OJ
point?
didn't murder anybody.
I'm sorry, what?
OJ didn't murder anybody.
Is that the new narrative on that? The OJ murder?
I don't know, but I did see my brother sent me a funny clip, and maybe I could show it on Dude You'd Like This next week. Of you might have seen it. Norm Macdonald is at the ESPYs. They let him host the ESPYs one year,
And he tells an OJ joke, right?
and he tells an OJ joke, and it is fucking hilarious.
You want to just do it now?
Yeah, let me find
Let's
it.
do it
real
now, and then we'll
quick.
get out of here.
And then we got to get moving because oh man, it came up that funny video again of the guy. Oh, is that so funny? He's hilarious. Okay, here we go.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? How what a season he had.
1998
He
ESPYs.
became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and waiter, in which case...
And that's in 98. That's in 98. So that's like actually like a relevant, like what the OJ thing happened in like 93, 94, the trial was
94,
happening, 95. Yeah.
So no, that's only 3 years later, and also it's like one of the most famous things ever. So the concentration of OJ relevancy was at a peak right at that point.
And
like,
he's
it was the joke. It was a lot of jokes.
And he's doing it at the sports awards.
Well, right, it's
He's
ballsy.
Ballsy.
Well, also, but nobody would think it was probably that people were probably surprised. But the SNL thing is also insanely ballsy, where he's doing each week on Update, he's doing an OJ joke a week, like if not more.
And they're good jokes.
And they're really good jokes. And he's shoehorning them into every episode.
Yeah.
Because he's like, fuck this guy. And he gets called in by the boss's boss, not Lauren Michaels' boss, so I think it was Don Ohlmeyer at that point, and he who played golf with OJ and was like, you have to stop doing OJ jokes. And I think I think the story was like he's like, all right, and then just kept doing them. And I think
and was shoehorning them even more ridiculously.
I think so, yeah. So when Norm Macdonald was just fearless, just
the best.
I think you can kind of decide that Norm Macdonald just didn't give a flying fuck about most things because
it seemed like all he cared about was comedy, for real.
About comedy and probably gambling. But here's the thing: it's if you watch, it's a great bit where he goes, "Yeah, I've ever seen somebody commit suicide," and it was like, "I don't understand it," and he goes, You don't?
Have you heard of life?
Yeah, he's
Is
like,
that
yeah,
what he says?
life is like a never-ending string of disappointments. And he's like, so I think he was he was kind of pretty apathetic when it came to like social amores, but in a good way because it produced some of the funniest shit ever. In top five of all time.
Absolutely.
100%.
Sean, before we get out of here, I do just want to say anybody that's been watching the video episode has probably seen me taking swigs of a Diet Coke out of a Burger King cup. I just want to let everybody know I did not eat fast food today. I did not eat Burger King. I did just get the Diet Coke from there.
Is that how insecure you are that you need them to know that you didn't just get food from Burger King?
I'm sure a lot of people were probably going to be commenting like, oh, I wonder what Ray ordered.
I don't think that would have happened even a little bit. I think you would have been fine.
Just saying.
We have to take steps with this podcast. We can't even if they did. Who gives it? What do you give a shit?
It was Matthew LeBlanc too. You're right about Matthew LeBlanc. I've been thinking about it, and it's not Sam Malone. It's Woody Harrelson.
I was gonna go Woody.
Young Woody.
Young Woody is an angel.
Yeah, he's not that attractive. He didn't age well.
But he didn't age well, but he's a great actor.
He's my favorite actor.
Also, one of these guys that can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I love these guys. We were just talking about that with Wes Anderson. You rewatched Bottle Rocket, and we were like, do you realize how hard it is to achieve a life? Like Michael Douglas is like that. You make all this money, but also you still have street cred in the business where you're able to just go do these bit roles or these roles where you're like, I'm going to do what I want. I have what, $100 million? Woody Harrelson has to have at least $100 million.
And he lives in Hawaii.
He does?
Yeah.
That's what I would do. God damn, now I'm getting jealous. All right, well, make this video go viral so that we can all move to Hawaii together.
Bye. See you in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Oh, shit. We didn't even do any plugs.
We can do plugs.
Want to do plugs?
Yeah.
Sorry,
At
we're
Shawnee
trying to
Time,
leave.
At Ray Zawodni.
At Ray Zawodni, we changed it. And I don't know why we didn't do any plugs, because this Saturday, me and Sean are going to be together on the road.
Yes, we'll be at Soul Joel's. I forget the name of the town. What is it?
The Bad Boys of Comedy. Or
Back in town.
The Black Bad Boys of Comedy are back in town at Soul Joel's. Sean Donnelly, Ray Zawodni. This time it's personal. Soul Joel's, Pottstown.
What is it? SoulJoel'sComedy.com.
SoulJoel'sComedy.com.
Go check it out. Get some tickets. Guys, come see us and say hello. Tell us you are a big fan of the show. We love you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.